why don't you send me an email when you find these types of situations and I'll come in and I will help. And they said, hey, Lee, that's a great idea. I said, hey, I only have one request. And they said, sure, anything. What? I said, you can't send the email to me exclusively. It's easy to get cash when deals are owned outright and sold for pennies on the dollar. Now, here was case study number 5. This is a property at 1020 East Sanson. Now, what I'm showing you here is an email coming from the municipality attorney. Now, what the attorneys do in our market is every time they have a homeowner that is in trouble, meaning they can't cure the code violation issues, they don't have the money or the budget or anywhere else to go, the city will send an email out to a handful of investors. Now, who are these investors? It's people like you and me who have contacted the city and said, hey, could you put me on your email list? Now, when I got involved, the city wasn't doing this. And I said, hey, why don't you send me an email when you find these types of situations and I'll come in and I will help. And they said, hey, Lee, that's a great idea. I said, hey, I only have one request. And they said, sure, anything. What? I said, you can't send the email to me exclusively. I said, the last thing I need is some blow up story where Lee Arnold is colluding with local municipalities to steal properties from homeowners. I said, no, it has to be a fair market. I said, so you need to make this list available to any investor who inquires about it. So now it's me and a handful of other investors. And when one of these emails goes out, it's who moves the fastest. So we get the email, we track down the homeowner, and here was the situation. She had inherited the property from her dad. Her friend was living in there. The deeds on title were never recorded, and we had to prove her ownership to purchase the property. Now, as it sat, the property appraised for $40,000. Now you can see here that we acquired the property for $33,000 was the incoming transfer. We bought it for $12,500, and then we wholesaled it out for $33,402. So this is the incoming wire transfer. So we bought it for $12,500. Now on this one, we didn't do a thing. We didn't touch it. We simply perfected the title so that the property could be transferred. Seller got $12,500, we sold it for $33,402, and we made the difference of that. What is it, about 20 grand? Now, my employees do this. Now, this is Don. Don actually used to work for me on our construction crew, and we picked up one of these properties, and he called me, he says, hey, Lee, is it possible if I were to buy the house from you? And I said, sure. So we sold the house to Don. We made a quick $10,000 profit. He went in and fixed it up in his off time hours. He made 52 grand on his first flip. And while I'm happy for Don, I was not happy when he turned in his 2-week notice shortly after, because he decided, Lee, this is amazing. I'm going to go invest in real estate full time. Happy to report that Don is still actively investing in real estate full time. So good job, Don. That's what we like to see.